Hey there. So today I just wanted to show you a couple of tips and tricks for really putting your oils to use. They are things that I kind of take for granted at this point because I've been doing it for, a few years now. But these were things that were really super useful to me in the beginning. So I wanted to make sure that I actually showed you what's involved. So today I'm going to show you how to make a rollerball blend, and I'm also going to show you what a veggie cap is and how the heck to use it. So first off, I'm going to make a rollerball. Now, rollerballs are an amazing tool to have. I highly recommend you get yourself some. It's just a really easy way to pre-dilute and blend oils that you use often in an easy format so that you can take them with you, or you can just pull the rollerball off the shelf and use it without having to mess around with mixing a carrier oil in your hand. Also really good for kids, so you don't have to, oftentimes we have to like pin them down, oil them up, and get that all done in, just a few seconds flat. So rather than having to mix it all up and, mess around with that, having a rollerball is really key. So what I'm going to just mix up today is just a super quick energy blend with peppermint and wild orange. Now, the amount of oils that you put in the rollerball is something that you kind of have to decide for yourself in a way, because there is a wide range of dilution percentages, and some people are more conservative, others are less so. So this is something that's going to come with time and with your confidence level rising. Also, you need to take into consideration, who is the rollerball for? If it's for your baby, obviously, you're going to be using less oils. If it's for yourself, you'll be adding more oils. So, a dilution range can be anywhere from 0.5% all the way up to 50%. And, like I said, it really just depends. So 0.5% up to 2%, which would be, this is a 10 ml bottle. So 0.5% would be 1 drop of essential oil. And then you would fill the rest up with fractionated coconut oil. 1% would be 3 drops. 2% would be 6 drops. Now, that would be good for babies newborn up to about a year. 1 to 5, you're in the 6 to 15 drop range. 6 to 11 years old, you're in the 15 to 15 to 20, 25 drop range. And then for a full-grown adult, from 12 and up, I honestly very rarely put any more than 30 drops in a rollerball. That's just my personal preference. But, I've been using the oils for several years. I'm very familiar with what my body likes and how it reacts. So I'm going to just say, for this rollerball, I'm going to do a 30 drop blend. So 15 drops peppermint, 15 drops of wild orange, and I'm going to fill up the rest with fractionated coconut oil. So that's a 10% dilution. So next, what I'm going to do, I've got my rollerball, I've got the top, the rollerball part, and I've got the lid here handy. I've got my oils. I've got my carrier oil, which is fractionated coconut oil, just put in a different bottle. You could also use grapeseed oil. You could use jojoba oil. I like fractionated coconut oil because it is not greasy. It absorbs into the skin really quickly. And it is just the perfect weight of oil for this purpose. So that's what I like to use. doTERRA sells fractionated coconut oil, so that makes it easy too. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the oils in. So you don't need to tip it directly upside down, but just kind of on an angle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. And I'm going to do the same with the wild orange. Now, some oils come out faster than others, and this is one of them. This is a pretty quick one, so I don't need to tip it as dramatically. Okay, so there we got. That's the essential oil right there. Now, if you don't feel comfortable pouring right from the bottle of oil, you can get yourself a little dropper or a pipette, and you can take the orifice reducer out and use it that way. Do you feel like that's more, like if that's easier for you, fill up the pipette and do it that way, whoops, or use the dropper. It seems tricky at first, but I've totally gotten used to just pouring it straight from the bottle. So that's up to you also. And then once you have the oils in, you just want to add the carrier oil. Now, again, I'm going to just pour it straight from here. The doTERRA comes with a pump, so that's a bit easier. You could also use a dropper if you desire. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to pour, 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 pour. I'm going to fill it all the way to the top. Now, then you take the top and you push it into the top of the bottle like that. And sometimes, depending on where you got it, you might have to use more or less pressure. And that's pretty much it. Give it a little, I like to roll it between my hands. And you've got an awesome energy boosting, happy rollerball. What I like to do is, if you don't have like fancy labels, which you likely don't, you can use, hold that thought. You can use the labels that come in the doTERRA Essentials book that comes with your oils. Use these labels. So what I like to do is I'll take one of each oil that's in the blend. So I've got wild orange and I've got peppermint. So I just take them off and I slap them on the bottle, just like that. So now when I look at it, I know exactly what I got. I know exactly what's in it, and I'm good to go. Okay, so next up, we've got veggie caps. So doTERRA oils can be taken internally. You could put it under your tongue, you can add it to water, and you can also use these amazing veggie caps, which are very awesome, especially if you're going to be taking something like oregano oil internally, because it's so strong and it can burn. And we don't really want that, obviously. So this is an easy way to take oils that don't necessarily taste great, or if you're making like a flu balm where you're combining a drop of each of 5 different oils, you don't necessarily want to take all those under your tongue. So today I'll show you, and I'm going to use oregano because I feel like I could just use a little boost of energy. Immunity. So I've got my oregano here. I didn't even show you. Veggie caps available through doTERRA. They are just clear vegetable glycerin capsules. And they pull apart super easy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I always use the deeper part. And I'm going to take the oil and I'm just going to put 1 drop in here. Boom. That's it. With oregano, if you were actually sick, you could do 2 drops several times a day. But because I'm just looking for a little bit of an immune boost, I'm just doing 1 drop in the veggie cap. You can also dilute this a little bit. So with a tiny bit of coconut oil, add that to the veggie cap, just a few drops, just to give it that extra dilution. You put the cap back on, pop it in your mouth, take it with some liquid, and you're good to go. You don't taste it, there's nothing, it's nothing. It just goes straight into your system. Yeah, so that's great. So one thing I want to mention with these veggie caps is you can't really make these ahead of time because the integrity of the capsule itself breaks down because it's meant to do that in our body. So as soon as there's any liquid inside it, it starts to break down. So you have to do it as you need them. But these are a really great tool to have to use when needed. Like I said, I don't use them every day necessarily, but there are definitely times of the year when I'm using them more often than others. If you had bigger kids or teenagers that were using the oils internally, this might be a good way because you can dilute it further and they don't have to worry about, the sensitivity of their mouth or the taste or anything. All right, so I will see you guys again soon. With this video, I'm going to post some resources of where to buy rollerballs, etc., just so you have it all in one place. Okay, bye.